Hi everyone, and welcome to our November issue of Live Free, Live Empowered. And I just want to say that we celebrated our official third year. We had a discussion about it at the Halloween function. That it's officially 3 years, however, that was only 3 years from formally starting the group formally, Facebook page, website, etc. But it was a year or so prior to that we started. But anyway, so we've had a good 3 years as a spiritual community. Often people ask me, about the Magdalene Centre and what it's all about. So on our third anniversary, I thought, let me give you a little bit more detail on how we work and how we manage to be in the world, but not part of the world. So the Magdalene Centre is made up of a core group of committed individuals who are committed foremost to their own personal spiritual development. We work with spirit. I use the word Holy Spirit. To us, the Holy Spirit is the divine feminine energy. She goes by many names. The most important thing to understand is she's the female part of the Godhead. So we refer to God. When we refer to God, we refer to the Godhead, both the masculine and the feminine divine energy. So we work as a core group, and then we have other folks that come and go as and when. We run some workshops and events that anyone's welcome to come to, and then we also have group sessions, teaching sessions for what we call the members. So that's basically how we work. We have several social functions every year, and we all get together and have a good time. It's important to understand that, firstly, no God requires you to be perfect. The thing within you that drives you to be perfect is the thing that keeps you separated from God, and that's the ego. So the ego is what we really get an opportunity to work with in the month of November. If any of you guys are into numerology, and we study all sorts. It's very strange. I think that people might find it a bit strange that we refer to the Holy Spirit, we refer to God, but then in the same breath, God is both male and female. So some people may not get it. We love Jesus. We work with the mysteries. I mean, what a mysterious man, able to perform, they say miracles, but ultimately it's seemingly supernatural abilities. So it's a spiritual group that works for their first responsibility is to themselves. Know yourself. That's your first responsibility. So anyone that knows anything about numerology will know, obviously it's November, it's the 11th month, the number 11 is a master number. So November is all about, so much really, but the first part is, if you listen to Paul's astrology, he'll give you the breakdown week to week, but the first part is about digging deep into our psyche. Now, another way of referring to our psyche is your shadow self or your dark self. And people think spiritual development and the purpose of spirituality is to somehow banish this darkness or, expunge it from yourself. Well, you know what, guys? That doesn't work. The shadow is what gives the light definition. The shadow is never going to go away. The point of it is that the thing driving the shadow, the ego, wants you to reside in the shadow. It wants you to reside in misery and poverty and self-loathing and bitterness and envy and jealousy and all the unpleasant emotions on the energy scale. So we get an opportunity to work on that shadow through November. But not only that, we get an opportunity to really push the boundaries of that shadow and to really go deep and to bring light into that shadow. Things like forgiveness, things like resentment. These are things that we can really get to grips with. You know, we're holding on to all of this negativity, or we're living in this place in our mind, in our heart, and therefore externally eventually of just despair and of no hope. But this is contrary to your birthright. Your birthright is to live victoriously, to live illuminated, to be healthy, wealthy and wise, essentially. But that's not going to happen unless the shadow part of you is no longer the dominant part of you, and therefore no longer the dominant situations in your life. So we get an opportunity to work very strongly with that in November, and you know, all our activities this month will be geared towards supporting one another. You know, again, what is strange to people is, you know, we have rituals, and they may seem strangely earth nature in essence, you know, incense and pongs and gongs, as my dad would say. But all of these things are there to help us to connect with the process, to connect with the intention. If you're wanting to transmute, or through alchemy, so in other words through fire, through heat, something dense into gold, that's what alchemy is, transforming anything solid into gold. And that's what we do with the shadow, is through alchemy, through fire. So it stands to reason that if you're trying to get a whole group of people to understand that, to work with that, to start that process going, you stick a fire in front of them. You burn some incense. You go to church. I went to church my whole life. I don't hate it. But as I was on my path, I found other ways to achieve what they're doing in church. You go to church, you open in prayer, usually, and then you sing songs. What's the purpose of the songs? Well, the purpose of the songs is to get your mind thinking along certain lines. You're hearing the music that's stimulating within your emotions. So your body, mind and soul is being drawn into what's about to happen, which is the sermon, you know, or the ministry of what's being delivered, the teaching. So that's what the purpose of the ritual is. So if you want to work with people, to work on alchemy and transformation, then stick a fire in front of them. Stick a fire in front of them. Let them listen to that crackling flame. Let them feel that heat. Let them see that light. Speak to them so that no other sounds are there except the fire. Connect their mind's eye, their consciousness to the process. So we have rituals. So we you know, and you know, we had a lovely, beautiful ritual on a Halloween function evening, Saturday just gone, and already a lot of people are, you know, sharing about their positive miracles, you know, things that were deep in their shadow, which they brought light to through the fire. You know, miraculously, resolutions are coming without them making further effort than, you know, maybe forgiving, acknowledging. So there's a whole process to working with the shadow, you know, acknowledging it's there, not being afraid to look around and investigate, you know, nasty, scary demons jumping out of cupboards in your shadow, in your psyche, being emboldened, bringing light, bringing love, essentially, you know. So that's where we get a great opportunity to work with that in November. It's also a time where, because we're putting this effort, though we walk to the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. You know, how many of us are literally walking through valleys of death on a day-to-day basis? Are you? you know, if you are, God bless you, my prayers for you. But a lot of us walk through the valley of that shadow every day in our mind. And that's where that's where spirituality happens. It happens in your mind. It happens when you're no longer living and actively building a life in the shadow, in your negative part. Okay? And you make that transition, you flip to living in the light, in the positive, expecting the best. It's all written in the scriptures. And when I say the scriptures, yes, I'm referring to the Bible, but I'm also referring to other scriptures which the Bible overseers would vehemently call heresy. And it's because of the Holy Spirit, the Divine Mother. She will show us the truth. So we get an opportunity to attract to ourselves whatever it is we need to help us through this journey through the shadow for most of the month of November and into December. And then we get Christmas. And it's a lovely time of giving, sharing of love, family, unity. It's all beautiful. But the spiritual aspect of that is, it's the time where it's saying, guess what? The time of delving in the shadow is coming to an end. Okay, the light is coming. The light is reborn. So that's exciting, but we'll cover more on that in the next video. So we'll gear our activities towards helping everyone with the shadow work and supporting one another and not being afraid, being victorious. So I hope to see you guys at Meditation and Healing this month, and thank you for watching. Again, I try not to really look at the articles. I don't do any of the proofreading. I do the video because my spelling is atrocious, even though we got spell check. So I try not to look at any of the articles or anything until the newsletter's prepared by the team, and then I look at it like everyone else does, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. This month again, fantastic articles from little Ria, Nin's daughter, and lovely videos. So we hope you enjoy it. We put a lot of effort into it, and we wouldn't do it if we didn't enjoy it. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.